What is up, Niner gang? Hope everybody's having a decent day today, man. Feeling a little bit better, maybe. I know I don't, man. I got like a weird feeling in the pit of my stomach, man. And sorry for the wait. I was trying to get on, or I was waiting backstage on Larry Kruger's show, but it was taking a little too long. So um, it is what it is. I came over here instead. Came here to be with you guys. Got a couple of you guys already in here. The breaking news, I'm sure you guys all know, Brock Purdy's MRI as of yet has confirmed a torn UCL ligament in his elbow. So, as you guys would probably assume, that's like an ACL, MCL type thing from the knee, but imagine it in your elbow. So, that's what Brock Purdy's got. He's still going to look for a second opinion. As of right now, he is set to miss 6 months and requiring surgery. So he should come in late around training camp. But we'll just see how it goes, man. I mean, regardless, I think at this point, it's probably going to be Trey Lance's job for now, and then we'll see what happens once Brock Purdy gets back. Ooh, I'm really curious to see, man, because it's off season now, man. I feel really bad for Brock Purdy. It sucks, man, to come that close to be such a great story. Like we all feel it as fans, that ugly fit in the pit of your stomach, man. Just the whole story, man. It's like what could have been wasn't. Just we will never know. We'll never know because it would have been something else if we lost it. If we lose the game, if the 49ers go and they mess it up, they make other mistakes or whatever, that's one thing. But to not even have a chance because you don't have a quarterback, that's another thing. But Brock Purdy, man, I hope he gets better as soon as possible. Like I said, he's going after a second opinion. So he's not he's not sticking with the initial MRI. He's taking that into consideration and going into another MRI for a second opinion with another medical facility. So he can get confirmation and feel better about whether he should just the doctors what route they want to take on the surgery they want to do, because it's a complicated one. If it is the UCL, which is what it looks like from the first MRI, then it's going to be a complicated surgery that's going to have nerve endings involved and stuff like that. So it's tricky, man. It sucks really bad. I'm going to drop the link in case anybody wants to call in for a bit. F it, right? Screw it. Gonna go through some of the comments real quick. We got Raphael 5629ers in here. What's up, Niner Gang, Wolfcast, and everyone? What's up, Raphael? Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you as always. He says like and subscribe. Yeah, please, everybody, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Oh man, starting to get like some heartburn or something. Sorry. Damian Lee says, "What's up, Niner Gang or Niner Faithful and Forever Faithful? What's up, man? Hope you're doing good today. Thanks for being here." Rob D'Art says, "Yes, UCL, man. UCL, that's tough. Like I said, man, like the guys that get ACL tears and stuff like that, it's the same thing, but in your elbow, in the worst area you can get it for as a quarterback, man, because even like Tom Brady, he had what, I forget if it was an ACL or an MCL, and he still played with it before. You see like Patrick Mahomes has his whatever his high ankle sprain, he can play with it, but to have that on your throwing arm elbow, and that's like basically discombobulated at that point. Rob D'Art says the black cloud hanging over this team, SMH. Straight up, man. I think this game, man, I started getting a really bad feeling initially when I want to know what you guys think, but when Fred Warner went down, right? Because one thing that I've talked about with Fred Warner is the best ability is availability. And this dude is always available, man. We gave him his contract and he's always ready for the games, outside of a couple instances. Now, so when he went down initially in the game and he was rolling on the floor a little bit, he looked pretty hurt, and I was worried, man. I was like, man, I really hope it's not going to be this type of game. Like I'm really confident in Aziz Al-Shaair. Dre Greenlaw, all pro type players, man, themselves. But still, like just the feeling I got from it was bad. But then we saw him come back into the game. I was like, ooh, man, that's a sigh of relief, man, because the more the merrier, definitely. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Um, then of course the challenge could have changed the whole outcome of the game. One thing I want to bring up, man, because of course Kyle Shanahan gets some blame. Um, and Hafunga, man. I guess because I was telling you guys yesterday, Jimmy Ward as a player on the field initially when that happened, Hafunga was there too. Um, just from a viewpoint stance. Oh, I forgot to click the link thing. My bad. There it is. Um, just from his viewpoint, he could see what happened, and Hafunga was jumping up and down, basically telling Kyle Shanahan, challenge it. It was no catch. Kyle Shanahan still refused to do it for whatever reason, man. So that's fucking lame in itself, man. It's ridiculous. But also the reviews, the official reviews. This is the NFC Championship. This ain't just no other game. This ain't no regular season game. The NFL as an organization, I think, really needs to come together about this type of stuff. And I think all plays should be reviewed if they're close. If there's any doubt whatsoever in your, or not even any doubt, but any question in your mind as an official, I think it should be reviewed just for the, um, what's the word for it? For the, I forget the damn word for it. The sanctity of the game, basically, man. It's the NFC Championship. And so I guess I don't know what kind of time frame they have in the booth, but those guys they get multiple looks, they get different angles, they get all the replays and stuff like that. So they may review it so they can call an official review. But they chose not to do it. So we can put blame on the NFL, the officials, and Kyle Shanahan for that, man. But still at the end of the day, Kyle Shanahan, like you have those challenge flags. You have multiple challenges per game. It's one of the biggest games of your career, and you have nothing to lose. What is a timeout? What is a challenge? Like that's not going to hurt you. Um, you should be executing to a point where it's not going to matter later on in the game. If you do that, you challenge right there, it changes the whole outcome of the game. Brock Purdy probably never gets hurt, and you have a shot at winning this. Not only that, you get the ball back. You force the Eagles to go 3 and out. 49ers get the ball back, and it just changes the conversation we're having today, man. So in so many aspects, it's unfortunate. We got a caller backstage. I'm going to bring him up real quick. I'm just going to read this comment right now. Damian Lee says this happened in 93 against the Cowboys. We regrouped and beat Dallas in 94. We need to make smart moves and improve. Yeah, man, but that's a lot of stuff I'm going to go into about just the offseason, free agency, bringing back Garoppolo, that type of stuff, man. But we have a caller right now. What's up, man? David Corona. What's on your mind? How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing all right. That tough loss yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the referees are making some bad calls. They're throwing some flags for no reason, and like I don't know, like they didn't want the Niners to win.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking.
That's what it felt like for sure, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Horrible, horrible calls, man. It's ridiculous. But yeah, like, I mean, for one, I don't know how much time they had because I know the Eagles rushed to the ball to try and get another snap off before anybody had a chance to review or challenge. But
Yeah,
Kyle Shanahan, first of all, man, like, dude, you have to challenge. You have to understand the circumstances. He doesn't know that Brock Purdy is going to get hurt later in the game,
no.
but
When when he
still, it's the
when he's
NFC
in these
Championship.
he's in these games and these national championship, the past 2 years, like I don't know, he gets nervous or what? Like he doesn't make the right calls like what he's doing in the middle of the season. Like I don't know what he does, but he like chokes or what? Like he doesn't stick to his game plan like what he does in the regular season. Like he switches it up or like I don't know. Like what happened to Jimmy G? He should be out there, but he showed up, but he didn't have no gear to play.
Yeah, man. I'm really curious to see how that's going to play out if the 49ers apparently they seem to like him. He's good insurance for the team. They got him
Yeah,
to agree to a pretty minimal contract for this last season.
right.
Maybe they could get him on another one, but it's like after that, um, because he could have been making a business decision. He could have been like, I'm hitting free agency. I need to be healthy for that.
Yeah,
So, because as far as I know, the reports were he was healthy. He was supposed to be ready for the divisional round. He was
yeah,
walking around the facility. He's walking on the sideline. It looks to me like he was ready to play. At least ready to pass a ball or two, man. Like not too much, be a little
yeah.
careful. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
they said he was gonna play in the national championship, but like I don't know, like what you said, he didn't want to play to get hurt. He's gonna mess him up in the free agent, or he didn't want to play.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm
so
curious, like just on that mindset, if he chose not to play and the 49ers know that, the facility, the staff knows that, they're probably going to give him the boot. Um, and then that's going to start a whole conversation because I do think, depending on the price, that Jimmy Garoppolo would be one of the better options out of if you want to bring Brady, Carr, Rodgers, Kaepernick, whoever the hell you want to bring in. I think Garoppolo is probably your best and cheapest option out of everybody. So
yeah,
I'm just curious to
yeah,
see how it pans
yeah.
out.
That's what I'm saying. I said like let's trade Trey Lance because I don't think he's ready yet to play,
Oh
and
man, no,
let him go to the Titans or whatever he wants to go to, and bring back Jimmy G for like a small price.
no, man, no,
No.
no, definitely not.
Oh,
The
okay.
thing in question is Jimmy Garoppolo. Trey Lance has to stay here, man. As of
Yeah.
right now, Brock Purdy's going to be out for 6 months.
Yeah, he
Trey
has to have
Trey Lance
surgery.
Trey Lance has a whole off season to prepare. He's had all of last season.
Right.
He had a year before that. He's gonna have 2.5 years under his belt of preparation. Trey Lance is ready, man. He is ready.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan wasn't mentally ready for Trey Lance. Kyle
Right.
Shanahan was the one that wasn't ready for Trey Lance, not the other way around.
Oh, okay.
Trey Lance could take this offense to a whole nother level in a different way. He's not going to look like Brock Purdy out there. It's not going to be like, I don't think it's going to look like super efficient, but
Right.
I think it's going to be really explosive.
Oh, okay.
So, like, for example, like Jimmy Garoppolo, the offense, time off the clock, time of possession, all that type of stuff. That's how the offense operates under Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right.
Similar to Brock Purdy and the way the offense operates with him, ball control, that type of stuff. But he has mobility as well. He's like an in between Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo,
Yeah.
almost.
And plus, he has a lot of weapons too, so he could move around. Trey Lance could to run the ball, or he has all these bunch of weapons he could use.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said. Yeah. Don't bring Jimmy G back, but let's use Trey Lance and let's use him smart. You
Yeah,
know.
I don't know if I'm opposed to bringing Jimmy Garoppolo back yet. I'm on
Right.
the fence about it just because in the business aspect of everything, just his price range, if no other team offers him more, like kind of like the situation what happened last year or
Yeah.
this year,
Right.
nobody was offering him big contract for him. They didn't give him a great situation. We don't know what they're going to offer him this year, but if it's like the
Right.
same thing, he might choose to stay here. I don't know. I doubt it. There's a lot that's going to go into it.
Right.
Then if you do bring back Garoppolo, there's roster politics and uh, uh the veterans that want to win a Super Bowl, are they going to want Garoppolo as a quarterback or are they going to want to go with Trey Lance?
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
Garoppolo was having his best season as a 49er this season until that
Yeah.
injury.
Yeah, and
Um,
only Trey Lance, he's only like 23, and Jimmy G's like 30,
yeah, he's gonna be 30 soon. I think he's
30.
29 right now.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
I think you're making good points about Trey Lance and yeah.
well, I mean, the
So
most important thing too is him being on the rookie contract. We're going into the
right,
off
right,
season now.
exactly.
All these guys we want to keep, like maybe Mosley, of course, Bosa. We'll see what happens with that. There's people
Yeah.
talking about trading Bosa. Uh,
Oh man,
but we got to save money. We got Samson Ebukam, Charles Omenahu, we got Jake Brendel. There's so many
right,
people that are up for free agency. Jimmy Ward, man, that we got
yeah.
to save money to buy some of these guys. We literally have to bid on these guys.
And I heard they're talking about Jennings. He might be leaving too pretty soon
Could
because
be, man.
they can't pay him.
The good thing is, as far as Jennings, because I thought about the same thing. He didn't have the greatest season, man. He's really good.
Nah,
He's a solid piece, but I think we could get him cheap. So I do feel good about the 49ers' chances to keep him here. And I think he's the right receiver for the 49ers, especially
yeah,
since they like to lean on the run game. He's a great run
exactly.
blocker, man. And he
Yeah,
pisses people off. He draws penalties and stuff like that. So
yeah, yeah.
I feel good.
And he comes through and third down too. He comes
Third and
through.
Juwan. Third and
Yeah,
Juwan.
that's
Yeah,
why I think that's why we picked up Danny Gregg in the draft. But maybe Jenny might leave. Is that possible?
I don't think that's why. I think the 49ers just wanted somebody that could extend the field because Juwan Jennings is more underneath type of receiver. He's somebody that you can scheme open because he's a little slower and you could hit him underneath. He's going to get extra yards on third down, even though he's hit before the first down yardage.
Right,
He can push for that extra yardage. Danny Gray is just taking the top off the defense. Maybe next year they'll be able to use him in other ways, like the end around and stuff, like they did not too long ago. Um,
right.
but for Jennings, man, I would tell him, "Hey, dude, you want to drive a hard bargain? Go take a look at that guy Kendrick Bourne that used to be here. You want to end up
Oh
like him?
yeah,
You want to end
oh
up like
yeah,
him?
exactly.
Yeah,
And look at how he plays now with the Patriots. He doesn't drop that much, and when he with us, he used to be dropping passes left and right. Like that's why I don't think that's why they give him another contract because he dropped too much. You that's what I'm thinking. And
yeah. Go ahead.
plus, we got Brian you coming up too. Maybe
Yeah.
what two more years?
Uh, they're probably gonna get him this year, man. I think
Yeah.
so. This off season, but we'll see, man. We'll see. Oh man, it's tricky. It's tricky. We
So
gotta
so
we,
on I know you don't like both teams. So who you think's gonna win the Super Bowl on your
Chiefs.
honest pick?
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah, if I had to put money, I would put it on the Chiefs for
Okay.
sure, man.
Yeah.
Now,
Cause, go ahead.
Patrick Mahomes' ankle, it looked a lot better in this game versus the Bengals. You could still see him hobbling a little bit, but it
Right.
looked a lot better than it did last week. So if he has 2 weeks to prepare for the Super Bowl and rehab that up a little bit, I think he's going to look even better in the Super Bowl. Now the thing is, the pass rush for the Eagles is pretty damn good, man. So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. I think that's going to be two determining factors: is keeping a good steady run game for the Chiefs and keeping Mahomes clean. If not,
Right.
then
That's
we'll see.
that's what I was thinking too. Because he has 2 weeks to get ready, and he been in the Super Bowl. He won one and he lost one, so he knows how that feels. So like like
Yeah.
like he like you like he said, he doesn't want to come as a losing. He wants to come out winning this time. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
When it comes to the Chiefs too, what was I gonna say? Shit. I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn it. Oh yeah, they have a really good backup. They have a good backup over there in the Chiefs as well, too, man. So
yeah, yeah, and
let's say,
he came in against the Jaguars when Patrick Mahomes got hurt.
yeah, exactly. So, and he's he's come in years before as well. That's how he kind of landed the job. That's how he won the job, was giving the Chiefs a really good, steady second quarterback, man, when Patrick
Right.
Mahomes has gone down. So at
Yeah.
least if Mahomes does go down, whatever chance they have a situation like the Niners did
Yeah.
this past week, then the Chiefs still have a shot to play ball control football. Tex Ass Tickler says Vikes going to beat the Niners 36-24 next season. I think you guys got to get past teams like the Giants before we can start talking about the Vikings beating um, a team on the brink of dynasty like the 49ers. So
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think
we
about Andy Reid?
we are
I know he used to coach for the Eagles, and he took the Eagles to a Super Bowl, but he lost. And what do you think he's thinking in his mind playing his ex teammates?
what's that song? I got revenge on my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Coaches, their pride, their ego, they want to stick it to organizations they've used to coach you for before. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, he is who he is, man. Like the Chiefs have been to what, five straight AFC championships. So
Three out of four Super Bowls in the last 5 years.
yeah, yeah, man. So I mean, it's just what it is. Like he's been there before. He's not new to the game, and maybe the new kids on the block can dethrone him, but
Yeah.
just the Chiefs have they're on the brink of dynasty as well. They're basically a dynasty right now, man. So
Yeah. And I think the defense will hold up too.
like if you're
Right.
betting money, you got to put it on the Chiefs, I think. Unless the Eagles were
Okay.
world beaters, which there was nothing in the last game that showed me that the Eagles are world beaters. So um
Yeah.
until they show that they're that, I got to give my money on the Chiefs,
Okay.
unfortunately, because I can't stand the
Yeah.
Chiefs, man.
Yeah. I haven't been doing too well on the bets. I've been losing a lot.
You gotta
So
hit the you gotta hit the like the really easy parlays, man. Like
yeah.
Kittle to receive for 20 yards, CMC to rush for 20 yards. The
Oh,
really easy ones just
I just bet whoever wins.
money
That
line.
yeah. So
There's that too.
he gives me an opportunity to pick the first team. And it's like earlier I went to his house and he said, so I paid him and he said, "Who you want in the Super Bowl?" I was like, "Oh man, you gave me the first option. You've been taking it." And he said, "Whoever you pick, I picked the opposite." It was like if
Yeah.
he right now he's in the hot streak and he's winning, but it's like I probably I still have to think about it. So
Oh, for real. I feel you,
yeah.
man. But hey, man, thanks for calling in. I'm gonna try and run through some of these comments.
Okay,
And
man. Thank you for
yeah.
having me.
Hey, thanks for being on, man. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Good to see
All
you.
right,
Take
man.
care. David
Yeah, you too.
Corona. Take care, bro.
Likewise.
All right, cool caller came in, man. First time caller. Appreciate that. Sinister Soldier, who I do believe is the one of the Eagles fans, says the booth can't interfere. Officials can't either, unless under 2 minutes of the second and fourth. But that's exactly what I'm saying. That's where I think the NFL. I've felt like it's not just this game. I've felt like this for a long time. We should not be leaving in because like there's a lot of important games that go into question that are just put in question that I don't think they should be, man. Like it should just be certain. Like there's big old controversies after the games. Like this has been happening for years and years and years. I just think if there's any slight of doubt, especially on a big play where it's a fourth down, whether and that can change momentum, that can change ball position possession. I think the NFL needs to just start reviewing those automatically. Maybe even get rid of the challenges, man. Just if it's close, just review it and make it fair. Just throw the fucking challenges out the window. Official reviews anytime it's ever close. And I don't think that would negatively impact either team, because it's fair. You're going to have the fair outcome. The truth is what you're going to have. Plus, both teams get a rest. They get more time to call the next play and figure out what they have to do next. Get all the what do you call it? The personnel and everybody that's correct on the field as well, man. So That's how I think the NFL should attack it. But who am I? So we'll just see. Rob Diart says the blame is twofold. Kyle for Kraft on Riddick or Croft on Riddick. Purdy not diagnosing an audible. Could have had Debo help block. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. That's on the O lineman for the most part. Um, Hitting the hot read from Brock Purdy, yeah, sure. But shoulda, coulda, wouldas, man. It is just a freak accident at the end of the day. Sinister Soldier says if the Niners were at home, they would have found the right angle and showed it faster, but that's part of home field. Yeah, that's true, man. That is true. You're right, though. Kyle should have at least called a timeout after seeing Smith and Hafunga reactions. That's what I'm thinking, man. Again, it just sucks. Shoulda, coulda, wouldas at this point. Hopefully, and we'll see, man. Like, is Jed York going to pull Kyle Shanahan into his offense? He's like, what are we doing that's wrong? What did we do that's wrong? And what are we going to do to correct it? Because we can't go forward like this. And I think a big problem of it is like Kyle Shanahan was so used to, and still is so used to being the offensive coordinator, to calling the plays and all that, that he's looking at his damn play sheet all the damn time. So this could have been a situation where he's drawing up plays on the sideline. Meanwhile, there's a fucking head coaching job that's right there on the field that needs your attention. But who knows, man? He was probably looking at his play sheet at the time. He's known to do that. For anybody who's an outside fan looking in, that's not a 49er fan, or that is a 49er fan that doesn't know, Kyle Shanahan has his face in his damn play sheet all the damn time, and it's pretty fucking irritating because he should be looking at the field. Sinister Soldier says that was a badass catch, though it moved a tad bit when the DB belly flopped him. That's what made it move a little. So the DB, Jimmy Ward, he actually slapped it because it was a badass catch, man. Like, even me, I told the dudes in the sports bar, I was like, this is what I said in my show before the game. This dude, Devontae Smith, he's really good at the catch point. He attacks the ball at the catch point, and he's really good right there, man. He doesn't have to be the biggest guy, but he gets up there. He has great timing with it, and you guys seen it. He brought it in. Like, initially, it's a fucking catch, but he doesn't come down with possession, because what happens is he has it tucked into his belly like this. You know, he catches it one hand, tucks it in like this. Jimmy Ward's hand, it comes like this on the top of the ball, and the ball slides out a little bit like this. And then when he lands on the ground, the ball touches the ground. So, yeah, man, initially it's a really good catch. If Jimmy Ward wasn't there, it would have been a catch regardless. So, only because Jimmy Ward tapped it and it hit the ground at the very end was it not a catch as well. So, even in coverage, we could give that to coverage, man. Like, off script play for the Eagles, they made it happen, and they caught the 49ers defense slipping right there. So that's another one where, again, shoulda, coulda, wouldas. What if Jimmy Ward would have just slapped that ball down, if he would have been there, if Hafunga, the safety, would have just been there to bat the ball down, or to push Devontae Smith out of bounds as he's catching the ball or something like that. Again, that's a slip up by the defense as well, too. So that's a great point. Rob Diart says Jimmy G injury equals pressure from the right side. Purdy right side. Johnson right side. See a pattern? Yeah. And then also Trey Lance running to the right side. No success in the run game, to the right side. Not no success, but very little success as opposed to the left side. Yeah. I get you guys. I'm telling you. And then we have to overcompensate for the right side by putting guys there like Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle, Tyler Croft to help block on the right side when they could be out there fucking getting open for a pass. So I totally get what you're saying, man. So Mike McGlinchey, there's people saying, hey, man, he had a good tail end of the season. The 49ers might be able to sign him again, and maybe they should, is what some people are saying right now at this time. Again, guys, if you guys could please throw 4 flame emojis in your comment / question if you have one specifically for me. Right now at this moment, I have a caller backstage, so I'm going to bring him up. Really good guest of the show, Jaguayo. Jaguayo, how you doing, man? Good to hear from you.
Not doing as good as I would hope,
Right.
but you know, it's kind of weird because the one thing that the Achilles heel that maybe we couldn't have avoided because the quarterback situation, but the
Uh-huh.
Achilles heel was that we were counting on Brock Purdy not getting injured, you
Yeah.
know, and so once that happened, that was kind of the ball game, I mean, because you don't have a competent guy that can come in and make things happen. I mean, we're in the fourth quarterback, and then he gets dinged up too. I mean,
And then
yeah.
you do, but I think he refused to play because of free agency.
Who?
Jimmy Garoppolo, man. He was
Oh,
supposed to be
oh.
ready for the divisional round of the playoffs. So he
Did
was
they
supposed
did
to
they
be ready
clear him?
last week.
Did they clear him? Did they like did
No,
I don't know if did Kyle say that he was gonna be cool to play this week?
I haven't heard that, but he was supposed to be ready for the divisional round. This is an extra week. He was walking around like I think he could have been ready, man. I think it was a business decision that him and his agent made. Like I could be ready, but I don't want to risk it. So hey, my neck, my back, my neck and my
Ye-
back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was just a tough deal to deal with. It was just gonna be a hard thing to overcome, especially when you get to the championship game. The other team is a good team. They're gonna just take wherever you're weak, and they're gonna exploit it. And unfortunately, I mean, I thought Ward, I thought Travarius Ward and Lenore, I thought they played excellent. I mean, they only
Yeah,
gave up like I don't know how many catches, like only two or three catches, something like that, something
that's
crazy.
that was a great takeaway from this game, and then that's gonna lead me to question the return of Mosley as well, man. As Lenore took his spot and played pretty admirably, man, down the stretch, and Mosley's up for a contract. So, do you
What would
get
you
him on
do?
a?
What would you do with Mosley? Would you tell him, look, we still love you, man, and we want you to take your time, get well, and then we can talk about it, about maybe another season, or what do you think?
I would try and sign him on a cheap deal if I can. Kind of use the injury for leverage in
Yeah,
the conference room.
yeah.
So I would do that, man, and secondary by committee. Lenore and Mosley, let them battle it out in camp, out opposite of and you know what? What actually might happen is they might slide Lenore back into the nickel spot and let Mosley play the outside, and he's actually a little bit taller than Lenore, so that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, but Lenore's been playing better and better.
Yeah,
He's
but
played better and better. But yeah, I mean that could work. And then we
but
could have. What do you think of Womack going forward?
oh, he's really good, man. Uh,
Where do you think he fits in if
Depth.
you know going forward?
I think he's just depth right now, man. Until they this is one thing. I was really confident that, Lenore, Ambry Thomas, those guys could develop Sam Womack
Yeah,
because the 49ers have shown it with obviously guys like Mosley. He wasn't the world beater when he came in. He got developed by
yeah,
the 49ers. And now look who he is. He's the better outside corner even than Lenore, I think, man. And he's a little bit bigger. So that
yeah,
just makes sense for an outside corner. You're playing against the bigger receivers in the nickel, which is Lenore's true spot, is man-to-man nickel slot coverage. That makes more sense for Lenore. He'll be more successful there. Not only that, we don't know if Jimmy Ward is coming back. He's already kind of saying is, hey man, I don't know if I'm going to see you next year. I love you, this and that. So I don't know,
What do
man.
you think about Jimmy Ward? Do you think it's time for him to just go and do it, or would you consider bringing him back just for his experience and all that kind of stuff, or
I
what do
would
you think?
I would love to bring him back for the right price, man, but it's just so tough because outside of Bosa, like if you pay Bosa, you got to find somebody to because Charles Omenihu is up for contract as well. Samson Ebukam, all the guys on the D line are basically going to be up for contract that we got to pay them, man, or we're going to lose our whole D line for the most part.
Yeah.
Outside of Armstead and outside of Armstead, basically,
So,
man.
so
So
just a question for next year. Looking forward to next year. With the injury to Purdy, how do you see the quarterback room next year? Like, are you hoping that Trey? Okay, let me ask you this question. I know it doesn't matter now because we're out, but let
yeah.
me ask you just what if? What if
Mhm.
Trey Lance, if Purdy had been the second guy, if Trey Lance had played the whole season, and we would have gotten to the playoffs, maybe with one loss more or two losses more, but we got in there. How would Trey Lance have done against the Eagles? Would it have been a difference because of his abilities, to run, bigger guys, stronger arm, things like that? Or do you think it wouldn't have mattered?
Uh, see, and that's the thing about the quarterback position for the 49ers. I know, like, Kyle Shanahan didn't use Trey Lance in the correct way, in my opinion. You should not be doing quarterback powers with him. He's better on the run, like in scramble, in space, stuff like that. Obviously, for example, against the Seahawks, he's leading a comeback drive and 4th and 12, he converts it with his legs, but it was on a scramble. It was not on a quarterback power. That's a
Yeah,
great example. He didn't get
yeah,
injured. He has space to slide and protect himself, and
yeah,
everybody's downfield with their backs to him. I picked the 49ers to win the Super Bowl this year, or at least be in the Super Bowl with the Bills this year, but that was at the beginning of the season if Trey Lance were the starting quarterback.
yeah,
I don't shy away from that, man. The progression that he would show from one half of a game to the next, great example is that Texans game. The
yeah,
offense was very stale. Come out in the second half and we just blow the brakes off the damn Texans.
yeah,
Trey Lance was doing that every game that he played. He would make they would make the adjustments. He would feel more comfortable. Now imagine if you gave him a whole season. He's a
yeah.
bigger quarterback. He's bigger than both Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy, and I think that's part of the reason why these guys are easier to they get injured more easily because they're a little smaller, man. And
So is it gonna be a battle? Is it gonna be like Purdy come out and Trey Lance, whoever wins, it's a quarterback battle for the whole camp and until we get to the preseason and all that?
I think it's going to be Trey Lance until we as of right now, because just like the breaking news says, man, Brock Purdy's going to be out for 6 months, and then how good is he going to be
Yeah,
once he comes back? We just got to see how that rehab process goes. So right now it's Trey Lance until further notice, man. And
yeah.
then outside of that, who else do you bring in? Do you look at Brady, Carr, Rodgers, Jimmy Garoppolo? Like, how do you look at that situation? And that's pretty tricky, man, because some of those guys are really, really expensive. And like I said, the salary cap is going up, so that's good, but we still have a lot of people we have to get back if we want to continue this run.
Maybe
Um,
Brady will take a hometown discount to come back and play for his hometown team.
I think
You know,
so. I
that
think
wouldn't be
so.
bad. I mean, you think about it, he'd be the starter, and then the young guys, the young guns, would be behind him, just
Yeah,
kind of
soaking
fighting
it
it
in.
out, see what it, yeah, see what the deal is, developing it, seeing it from how he prepares and all that kind of stuff. And I think Brady still is not what he was, obviously, but with the offense that we have, I think he'd do pretty good.
Yes and no. I just think the NFL is past that era of quarterback, man. I think you need some type of mobility for success in the NFL now at the quarterback position. Just a little bit, like just enough, like Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, just that little bit of versatility, man. And just I don't know. I think Brady's past his time. Would be
Yeah,
cool, but not as a starter, man. I think this offense would be better with Trey Lance.
and just have him as a backup. if he wanted to.
Yeah, if Brady wants to take a backup role, which
Yeah,
his ego will not let him do.
yeah,
I love
yeah,
the story, man. I love, he's a 49er fan, looked up to Joe
yeah,
Montana.
yeah,
I love all that. I would, for him, I wish that he could do that. But from an analytical standpoint, I'm just like, for me, it doesn't make sense. I think this offense would be better with Trey Lance and Brock Purdy.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you're looking for the third guy. Maybe you just draft somebody. Maybe you get Nate Sudfeld back.
yeah. Or maybe I
Ooh.
heard that guy from the Cowboys was gonna be a free agent. I
Oh,
heard
what's his name? What's his name? The
Cooper
backup.
Rush.
Cooper Rush.
Cooper,
There you go.
yeah. I mean, he's pretty good too. But then he's
Yeah.
kind of good because he won 4 out of 5 games. So he showed a lot too. So he might be too expensive.
Yeah, man. I mean, at this point, you just need a placeholder,
Yeah,
in case
yeah,
anything bad happens. You don't need anybody who's going to blow the brakes off other teams. Nobody that's going to be expensive. I think you just need a placeholder until Brock Purdy's 100%, and then him and Trey Lance can continue to battle it out, man. But I think, like I said, Trey Lance, his job until further notice. I think
yeah.
until Brock Purdy shows he's 100%.
Well, I guess.
What do you
Okay,
think,
so
actually?
I think yeah, that's the way I see it too.
Yeah,
I think Trey, because Trey, if you just look at him, I think he's the kind of guy. He's the kind of quarterback going a future, right? Like you said, the Brady drop back is over, and we
yeah.
need a guy that can move. And I think Trey is that okay. If you just think talent, he's more talented than Brock Purdy. Just talent, physical talent. He's better than Brock Purdy.
Trey Lance?
Yeah, Trey Lance,
Mm,
just physically. You know,
yeah,
if he develops, the thing about Purdy was that he played 4 years. He could see everything.
yeah.
So but unfortunately, so are do you care about the Super Bowl? Like, or do you have it one way or another, or you don't care? You're not gonna watch it.
I think the Eagles are going to get exposed, man. I think that the Chiefs, they've done this so consistently. They've been there 5 straight AFC championship games. And what is it? 3 out of the last 4 Super Bowls were the Chiefs, right? I believe. Yeah. Yeah. 3 out of the last 4.
They played
Um,
that when they beat us. Then they played the Bucks and they lost, right?
Yep. So that's 2, and then they missed it last year, but they were in the AFC Championship. Now they're
Yeah,
back. So 3 out of the last 4 years for the Chiefs. Um, I just didn't see anything from the Eagles that warrants any like they're not world beaters to me, man. I wanted to see it. They had to prove it to me in this game, like I said throughout the week, and
yeah,
they still didn't prove it to me. Like
yeah,
our
yeah,
quarterback got hurt, and we just had no shot at that point. That was it,
yeah,
man. So
yeah. That was it. Well, okay, so I'll let you go. Thank you very much for letting me come on for a couple of minutes and
always a pleasure, man. Always a
you
pleasure.
know, lick our wounds a little bit. But you know what?
Yeah,
Next year we'll get a little bit better. Hopefully everything gets taken care of. And I have faith in Shanahan and Lynch and Peters. And we got 11 picks. We got a lot of threes. We got a lot of fives. Maybe we can turn those into a 2 or a 3 or something like that, and get some impact guys. So I'll let you go. You stay blessed, huh? Take
hey,
care.
likewise, bro.
All
Thanks for
right.
being
You
here.
take
Take
care.
care.
All right.
Oh, cut him off a little early. We have. Did I miss a question? Oh shit. Mariah in here. What's up, Mariah? Thanks for tapping in, man. And everybody go check out 49 Faithfully podcast. Good thing over there. Go sub them up. Like I said, the 4 flame emojis in the comments would really help me get through them faster, so I know what's specifically for me and not just the conversation going on in the comments. I did throw the link in the chat for if anybody wants to call in live. But John Cerner, what's up, my boy? He says, what are your thoughts on the Niners D line yesterday? They did good enough to win the game, right? If we had a quarterback, the whole defense did. Like, I think the game plan was really good. It was really what I called out all week. You want to contain you want to contain Jalen Hurts and make him play as a true quarterback from the pocket, and that's what they were doing. You know, bull rushing. Bosa was having a really good game, as usual. Typically, saw Javon Kinlaw out there a little bit, man, but we still need to attack this free agency and get some more help for Bosa. We need another defensive tackle that's going to be an impact player. Maybe by some miracle we can get DeForest Buckner back. We can find. We just need to find somebody like that, man. A really good defensive tackle. If it's in the draft, free agency. I doubt it's going to be in free agency, but hey, you never know. But what are your thoughts, man? I just think outside of Bosa, this D line is lackluster at this point. So Charles Omenihu, Samson Ebicom, those guys are up for contract. We'll see what happens with Javon Kinlaw if the 49ers are going to choose to what's the word for it? I keep missing these words, guys. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's this damn NFC championship got me all scrambled in the head, man. But Javon Kinlaw is going to be up for his contract. So the 49ers can choose to extend him or not and sign him to a second contract. So we just got to see how that plays out. And, I think at this point, Javon Kinlaw, he might want to just hedge his bets with the 49ers. Like, hey, man, you're not going to go out and say it, but, in his mind with his agent, just like, hey, I'll take a minimal contract. I haven't been the biggest impact player. I'm insuring myself by getting this guaranteed money in case I do continue to have problems with my knee. But a cheap enough contract to where the 49ers will choose to keep me, but I'm not hurting the wallet too much. Like, you can't ask from Javon Kinlaw's standpoint, you can't ask much, man. And if he starts to ask too much, you let him go. Pedro Valleja says, how long will Purdy be out of football with torn UCL? So he's going to get a second opinion, but as of right now, it's 6 months, man. With surgery, the MRI says it's his first medical opinion is that it's a torn UCL. He's going to go get that second opinion and see what they think. If he needs a surgery, he'll be out for around 6 months. So then that would bring him back around training camp. So he'll still have time to acclimate himself. He'll still get to take mental reps. So that's the good thing. And that's a really good thing I've seen about Trey Lance, man. He's still developing. He's in the quarterback room with Brian Greasy, Brock Purdy, Josh Johnson, even Jimmy Garoppolo. All those guys, man. That was the thing about Trey Lance, showing that he's a leader, showing that he's going to put in the work. He's going to, I really loved, there was actually a highlight. I don't know if you would call it a highlight, but it was a clip of the sideline. I don't remember what game it was, but it was during these past few weeks that Brock Purdy's been the starting quarterback. Trey Lance came up in one of the games where it was cold. I think it was one of the Seahawks game at home when it was raining a little bit. Trey Lance came over and brought Brock Purdy a coat and put it on his shoulders, man. I love that humility, that leadership. I think leaders have to be humble and be able to take a look at themselves and, just be there for everybody, right? I think that's a big thing, being a leader, you got to look out for the better of everybody else as well. So Trey Lance being there in the quarterback meetings and taking the mental reps, Brock Purdy can still do all the stuff that Trey Lance was doing as well, man. So that's the good thing. He'll have a whole nother offseason to get, dive into the playbook, learn some new plays, because I'm sure Kyle Shanahan's going to start dialing up some new plays, some better protections, and all that type of stuff, man. So light at the end of the tunnel, guys. Lights at the end of the tunnel. So 6 months, man. See how it goes. David McNiner in the house. What's up, bro? He says Big Cock Brock will be out at least 6 months. Could be up to 12 months. Yeah. Could be up to a year on the severity, man. So hopefully it's just the 6 months if he's out for the year. And that's the thing. Once Brock Purdy gets his second opinion, and, kind of, for example, like with Trey Lance, we got the initial thing where he could be back in the postseason, and he ended up requiring a second surgery. So just hopefully everything goes smooth with Brock Purdy, man, and hopefully he can just come back and everything he attacks everything in the rehab process with all seriousness and doesn't have any setbacks. That's going to be key, man. You know, like Alex Smith, for example. I don't know how many of you guys have seen it, but Alex Smith, the severity of his health, his state of health after his surgery from the shattered, what is it? It was a shattered shin bone or something like that. He goes in for surgery, it gets infected, it almost kills him from the infection. And so just hopefully there's no complications, no setbacks, any of that stuff. So, like I said, guys, 6 months, but that's yet to be determined. That's why I say Trey Lance is the quarterback right now until further notice. And I like my odds with Trey Lance, man. I picked him in the 49ers to be in the Super Bowl with him as the starting quarterback. And that's for a reason, man. Rob DeArt says the silverback went off in that scrum, made grown men look like little boys. Yeah, man. I felt the frustration too. I was like, that's what I love about football, man. I don't know what it is about me. I'm really aggressive. I love seeing shit like that. And like, it's like I wanted the whole 49ers team to just have an all-out brawl with the Eagles team. And that's just like out of frustration and put them in their place and this and that. Like, you hurt our quarterback and whatever. And some people would say that that's immature, but that's just the rowdiness in me. So it is what it is, man. I like to see shit like that. I like boxing. I like physical sports. I love aggression. I don't know why. I'm weird. I love to fight, dude. I swear I was waiting for one of these Eagle fans, man, because they were chirping in the sports bar, man. I was waiting for one of them to say something as I'm walking by. I was going to take my fucking shirt off and just tell them, let's go outside then, man. But Rob DeArt says, like and subscribe. All the cool kids are doing it. Yeah, man, I would really appreciate that. Man. If everybody could like and subscribe. Brian Culp says, what's up, faithful? What's up, Brian? Good to see you in here, man. Appreciate it. Pedro Valleja says 49ers, I believe Kyle said about Jimmy last Tuesday that he was still not cleared to play, and only if we made it to the Super Bowl, and my opinion, McGlinchey would be on the move. Yeah, that's the thing, man. So Kyle Shanahan said there was an outside chance that Jimmy Garoppolo could play if needed in the Super Bowl, and that even then, that's an outside chance. But I'm talking about the reality of the situation. I think Jimmy Garoppolo was ready to at least do some dink and dunks, man. I think he would have been all right for that. I think he could have been the hero and upped his stock, because ever since Brock Purdy has taken over as a starting quarterback, since Garoppolo has gone down with his injury, even though Garoppolo was having his best season as a 49er, it still wasn't as good. It still did not compare to what Brock Purdy was putting on the field. So that plummeted Jimmy Garoppolo's stock. It's like, okay, Jimmy Garoppolo has this great win percentage with the 49ers and this winning record with the 49ers. But you have Mr. Irrelevant. This dude fell to the last pick of the draft in the 7th round. He's a rookie, and he's blowing the lid off the damn NFL. Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't do that as a multi-year veteran. So that plummeted Jimmy Garoppolo's stock. I think he could have, spiked it back up in some form or fashion by being the hero, stepping up to the plate, just in case he was needed. And we needed him in this game, man. So he definitely would have played better than Josh Johnson did. Probably even if he was still a little sore or whatever from the injury. And Mike McGlinchey, man, we'll just see about that. This team, this staff, they like to bring back players that they're familiar with. So, and he did look better towards the tail end of the season. He came back from injury at the beginning of the season, a really bad injury too. At that, he was underweight, all that stuff, man. So maybe going off the play that he did towards the last stretch of the season and putting on some more weight or more muscle, whatever whatever the staff, because they have their optimum weights that they give to the players, like, hey, we want you at this weight for your peak performance. They're going to do that with Dre Greenlaw this offseason, guys. So they might do the same thing with Mike McGlinchey and bring him back. David McNiner says we need assistant coaches in to teach discipline. All those penalties and losing big, Cock Brock killed us. I don't know, man. It's like, I think the defense was just like out there trying to make things happen, like something, like some kind of miracle, and frustration is like there was just no chance in this game, man, once Brock went down. So, and then the refs were not helping us by calling bullshit calls. Like, what's that call on JP Mason when he's getting pushed into the kicker and he gently taps the bottom of the kicker's foot? Like, that's complete bullshit. The one on I think it was Kerry Hyder. Kerry Hyder's going in on a pass rush. He gets held by an offensive lineman of the Eagles, and they call him for illegal use of hands to the face when the dude is grabbing him in the horse collar. Like, oh my God, he has him like a damn vice grip. It's just the refs were so full of shit in this game, and the defense had no chance. Like, the whole team didn't have a chance once Brock Purdy went down. Like, notice when this stuff started happening. It did not happen early in the game. It happened later on in the game after Brock Purdy went down, after Josh Johnson fumbled that fucking bullshit snap to let the Eagles score. That's when the defense started committing those alleged penalties that I still don't think were fucking penalties. Again, JP Mason was pushed into the kicker as well. So that's part of it. Rob DeArt says, no way does Brady come to the 49ers. He wants some control over the offense, and Shanahan will not relinquish an ounce of control. That's another great point. That two egotistical guys operating for control. So that's a great point as well. Again, if anybody here is new here, please please throw 4 flame emojis in your comments so I can get to it as quick as possible. We got Ryan G. Hensley in the house. What's up, man? Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. He says, what's up, buddy? Have a great show. Hey, likewise, man, dude. I've been busy in the morning. I've been catching your shows late, not live, unfortunately. But I'm trying to, man. Hopefully I get the chance to tomorrow. Everybody go check out Ryan G. Hensley. A really good show over there, man. He has all like a plethora of guests, man, that all have really great perspectives. So you guys go check him out. Ryan G. Hensley show on YouTube. He has a really great 49ers morning show, which I don't get to do that slot. Like, I could barely catch live streams in the morning. I have a weird schedule when it comes to work. So he has a morning show. I think that's great for people, like, especially me. I can still listen to it and have my coffee and stuff like that while I'm working and stuff. But yeah, man, I love morning shows. They're really cool. Especially like with the anticipation throughout the day. You're waiting for that 49ers live stream to come on, and they won't come on till like noon or 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock, and you're sitting there at work bored or just listening to music, but you want to hear some 49ers and get some therapy from it. Go check out Ryan G. Hensley. He has his morning show. It's early in the morning. You ain't got to wait. None says, just think if we were to get Lamar Jackson. That's another one. That's another great point, man. Ooh, can you guys imagine that battle? Lamar Jackson and Trey Lance, man. But I think just one of the key components here, man, is keeping this roster cheap to be able to keeping the quarterback position cheap to pay some of these other guys that we got to bring back, man, because this is a lot of moving parts. These are a lot of parts, crucial pieces that we need to keep this team afloat, man. So really curious to see what the 49ers are going to do in the offseason when it comes to the other positions, but who knows, man? They might go cheaper on some of the other positions to attack the quarterback position with a guy like Lamar Jackson, and that would be really complimentary to Trey Lance. But I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I want to keep this quarterback room cheap, and Lamar Jackson wants a lot of fucking money, man. Rob DeArt says, how long was our defense on the field last night? They had to play like double the reps of a regular game. Exactly, man. So I don't put any blame whatsoever on the defense at all, man. They had to basically make a miracle happen. Chris Aaron said, it's okay to cry. Yeah, it is, guys. Hey, it's okay to cry. I think you're an Eagles fan. I don't know, but I'm not crying. You are. I always make that joke. I'm not crying. You are. 49er Chief says, I think McBummy will come back. Of course, we have no draft picks to replace him with. Yeah, we got a lot of draft picks, man. So the thing is, are the 49ers going to go and trade these draft picks to move up in the draft? Or are they just going to ball out and just like pick out a plethora of players? Because we still have guys like Zakel, Jason Poe. I believe Jordan Mills is actually still on the practice squad as well, which he showed a lot of great promise, man. He was winning one-on-ones against Nick Bosa, and he's a right tackle. He's a true right tackle, guys. So I don't know. I can't say yes or no. Let me see. Again, guys, 4 flame emojis in your comment / question so I could get to it quickly. 49er Chief says, what part native are you? I'm Hickory, Apache, and Mayan. So yeah, Yucatec, Mayan. And Hickory, Apache. Ulysses King says, y'all ain't got the lockers clean out yet. Bang, bang, bird gang. Oh, man. You ain't got your life together yet or what, bro? No, too much time on your hands. I want to talk about lockers. Dude, you got too much time on your hands. Barely beat a team that that couldn't have a quarterback on the field, and you want to come in here? Silly people, man. If Brady goes elsewhere, says Hector F., do we take Carr on a cheap deal if cut by the Raiders? That's the thing. You can't take him on a cheap deal unless he renegotiates his contract. And Carr is set to be really expensive. I think he's set to get like all these guys are set to get like $40 million this year. That's why I don't want any of them. I'm serious. Like I don't care to have any of them. I feel really good about Trey Lance. He's gonna be ready. If maybe you could get Jimmy Garoppolo cheap, but even then, it's like that dude, like what I saw during this game, I don't know what the fuck he was laughing about on the sideline, but that really pissed me off. I do think he could have played. So just, I don't know, Jimmy Garoppolo, like, I don't want any of these guys. I just want Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, maybe draft another guy, maybe bring Nate Sudfeld back if you can get him from the Lions. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it plays out, but Trey Lance, that's the only guy I'm going with right now. Gregory Smoot says, good analysis, my guy. Hey, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you being here, and thanks for the compliment. I really appreciate it, man. I have my dumb moments, but let's see. T-Flow says Shanahan needs to know when to button it up a bit to start games. Don't ask your backup tight ends to try and block the opposition's best players with your backup tight end all by myself. He exposed his quarterback there. Yep. There's that. Brock Purdy, please get to your hot read. Maybe help out with the protections as well. But yeah, man, again, I said this earlier. If Jed York, maybe he pulls Kyle Shanahan into the office and says, hey, man, this is obviously a trend and an issue. What are we going to do to correct it? Because I got Super Bowl rings on my mind. I ain't got no damn shoulda, coulda, wouldas and coming close, but no cigar. And yeah, man. So we'll see. They're going to probably have to have a meeting with it. You guys, appreciate you guys all being in here. But if you guys have any more questions or comments, please let me know ASAP. Israel Mikey says, I think this game Brock me worse than the Super Bowl, honestly. What? I don't know what you meant there. I think this game Brock worser than the Super Bowl, honestly. I don't know. Rob DeArt says Debo was in backfield, could have blocked him. That's another thing, man. It's again, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just shoulda, coulda, wouldas, man. It's Brock Purdy could have gotten rid of the ball faster. You could have put better blockers. He could have read the defense better. Um, so many things, man. But well, Brian Culp says he's going to call in, so I'm going to throw the link in the comments again, and then so we can buy ourselves some time for Brian Culp to call in, man, because I want to hear what he's got to say. We didn't, as far as I know, we didn't hear from Brian yesterday, and he's an MVP of the show, very special guest of the show, and I was thinking about it today. I was like, man, maybe we didn't hear from Brian because maybe he's going through a rough time after this loss, man. I know he was having a party for the NFC Championship yesterday, man. So I want to hear what he's got to say about it. Brian, don't give any sneak peeks or previews yet. But Israel Mikey says, I see a lot of people turning on Purdy, but this was really unreal. The story that happened, SMH, too unreal. That's the thing, man. Like the shoulda, coulda, wouldas is one thing, but there's always freak injuries, man. Like Trey Lance, that was a freak injury, man. Jimmy Garoppolo, freak injury. Like you can do all this stuff. Garoppolo, he would take his hits, he would take his licks now and then, and live to play another game, man. But just one freak injury took him out, man. So it could happen at any moment, and it's just like at this point, the what could have been if we had our quarterback in the game. I think we win, but again, what if? Israel Mikey says, I meant broke, my bad. Let me see. Where's it? I think this game broke me worse than the Super Bowl, honestly. I feel you, man. I feel you. I think the Super Bowl was worse just because we were already there and we had our quarterback. So I think that was even worse. We had a lead. Oh man, if Garoppolo, puts a little more air on that pass to Emmanuel Sanders, if what else? What else happened in that game? If we run the ball with Debo more in that game, it's always the what ifs, man. Kyle Shanahan didn't get it done as a coach. He didn't, man. And that's why we went and got Trey Lance, because we were limited at the quarterback position. So that's why, like, I hear people talking about going back to Jimmy Garoppolo as a starting quarterback as well. I am not for that at all whatsoever, man. Especially, he's due for his contract. He would have to come in like with another really cheap deal like he did this past year, maybe with um, incentive-based contract. So to convince me, for it to make sense, it would have to be something like that, just like he took for this year. But he has to go and test the market and see what he can go get with those other teams as well. So we'll just see. Pedro Valleja says, my question is, why didn't our 49ers go out and get Cam when Jimmy went down instead of Josh Johnson? And congrats on your podcast. Hey, man, appreciate you. I think, like I've said it before, Cam Newton, I don't know what all he's doing to stay, if he's trying to stay in shape or what. Like he looks good and all this and that, but being on the field, being in football shape versus, just like looking good for the cameras and stuff, this two completely different things, right? He's doing his podcast when he's doing his podcast, because I actually sub to his channel. I support him. This dude is over there smoking cigars while he's interviewing people. So he's killing his lungs, and part of his game is being an athlete, right? Even though he's playing one of the least demanding positions when it comes to athleticism on the field for football. And isn't that really ironic that the quarterback position is the most valuable, but that's like one of the least athletic positions? That's super ironic, man. But yeah, man, he's over there smoking cigars on his podcast, so I don't know how good of a shape he's in. Rob D. Art, let me see. says BA was wide open on that play, would have been a touchdown. I'm assuming you're saying on the one that Brock Purdy got hurt on. And again, man, if shoulda, coulda, wouldas again, man. It's just if Hassan Reddick doesn't hit Brock Purdy's arm, then maybe BA gets hit for the touchdown, and there you go. It's a whole different outcome. But that's not what happened, so it fucking sucks. That's what's horrible about it, man. We will never know. Hi, Niners bros, and like for fans, players, and channel. Hey, man, appreciate you, Edgard Ascoli. As always, man, thanks for being here. Yeah, everybody, please like and subscribe. We're waiting for my boy Brian Culp. If anybody else wants to call in the meantime, feel free. I know we got some Eagles fans in here that are lingering for some reason as well. I don't know. To me, that shit is like super weird, bro. It's like you got no life. I'm gonna be honest. Like when we beat the Cowboys, like any team we ever beat, I never go visit those channels. Like I don't give a fuck. Like I'm not gonna go and kick a man while he's down. I'm good. Like I'll post like good content about what NFL analysts said after the game and stuff like that, but I'm not going to go to your stream and pick at you and poke at you while you're down, right? It's really weird to me, man. It's like some of the weirdest fucking people, bro. We got my boy Brian Culp backstage. I'm going to read this comment real quick. I know Lamar wouldn't be cheap, but he definitely would be worth it. You get what you pay for. Real talk. No sub LR. New sub LR. Oh, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, man, I feel you. You get what you pay for. But I think we have to see what we have in Trey Lance. He has to get a chance. We used all that draft capital. So what's up, my boy? How you doing, man? You have any thoughts on this comment?
I know Lamar wouldn't be cheap, but he'd definitely be worth it. You get what you pay for. The only thing I have a problem with Lamar Jackson is he's just not as accurate. He's a really fast quarterback. The teams have to pay attention to him. You have to watch out for what he's going to do. But I don't know. I mean, if we're going to go to Lamar Jackson, I'd rather just keep Trey Lance. That's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good tandem, They're two similar quarterbacks, but for the price, it doesn't make sense because Trey Lance has been here in the system. I think he's a better true quarterback than Lamar. Lamar's better in the run game, which is cool, but Trey Lance knows the system. He's developing under Brian Greasy, who's shown that he does a really good job with these quarterbacks, it seems like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it doesn't make sense to go and spend money on a guy like Lamar when you have to keep the team together and see what you have in Trey Lance. Once all these guys are paid to stick around, you see what you have in Trey Lance. The cap space goes up. The what do you call it? The cap.
Salary cap.
The salary cap goes up in the following years. So once you get these guys paid this year, then if Trey Lance shows he's the guy, then you can pay him. If not, then Brock Purdy shows he's the guy, you can pay him. That's later on. That's the great thing about having the cheap quarterback, man. So it's cool and all. I would just bring in somebody maybe like Nate Sudfeld. That could be a placeholder in case anybody were to get hurt. We don't have another situation like we just did.
No, man. I mean, like, we've been too cheap on quarterback. I love your opinion, and I'm not trying to knock it. But
no, I feel you.
We've just been too cheap.
Brian, I don't care. Knock the shit out of my opinion. I'm not soft, bro.
This is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem. Is since we got Kyle Shanahan, we didn't have a coach. Well, we had a coach. We didn't have a quarterback, and he wanted his quarterback from the Redskins. The Redskins don't trade with the Niners. The Niners and the Redskins, we don't have good. We got Trent Williams, but that's it, right? Like they don't do deals. We don't do deals with the Redskins. So then he went to the Vikings. We're not going to get him from the Vikings. The Niners and the Vikings don't have good, relationship either. Oddly enough, we trade with like the Broncos. We trade with teams like that. So it's like we're not trading like that. So you like that. That's not happening, but Kyle wouldn't get off of it. So then, we have CJ, we had Brian Hoyer the Destroyer, and he started seeing ghosts. He was actually pretty good to begin with. He was running the offense, but then once he started getting hit, because what happened when we first started this 2017 run with Kyle Shanahan, the team was like wiped out. We didn't have anybody. We didn't have a line. We didn't have wide receivers. We didn't have anybody. We only had like 3 or 4 guys from defense, right? So now, 2017 happens. He finally got Jimmy at the end of the season. We paid too much for Jimmy. We should have probably got Tom Brady, but everybody's like, no, I don't want Tom Brady because the Niners are the best team in the NFL. We don't want him to have a Super Bowl with the Niners, right? That's just stupid. I don't care I don't care if it's Kirk Cousins, whoever wins the Super Bowl for the Niners, I'm rooting for. Whoever's in that championship game, I'm rooting for. So again, we got to get a veteran quarterback. And I know me and you've talked a little bit about this, and I'm going to go on a little bit of a roll. Trey Lance wasn't the option. He wasn't the number one choice. He was what they settled for. They went after Stafford. They went after Deshaun Watson. They went after Rodgers the night before the draft. If you guys don't believe me, look it up. Everything I'm saying is legitimate. It's all true. They tried to get Aaron Rodgers. Like several years now, we've been trying to get Aaron Rodgers, and it just won't happen. Because why? The Packers don't want to trade him to us. If the Packers trade Rodgers to us, it's over. It's over. So if we got Rodgers or we got Brady, it's over. Even with the bad line right now that we have, the NFL is not going to let Tom Brady get hit like that. They're not going to let it happen. And I'm not saying, we want to get Tom Brady so we get a free, trip to the Super Bowl. No, it's just something about it. He's the face of the NFL. They're not going to let him get his knee ripped out. Same thing with Mahomes. That's why it's just the way it is. So until we settle and go out and find a quarterback, like what a lot of people have been saying today, even if Trey Lance is the future, which I'm totally happy with, I'm fine with that. He just needs more time to practice. So everybody's saying he needs more reps. He needs more reps. Wolf, why didn't Josh Johnson come out to play yesterday? Did he not get enough reps? So why isn't the second string getting enough reps? Why isn't the other players on the team practicing? I know if you and me were playing on a team together, you and me after practice would be throwing the ball together. We would still be out there practicing. So maybe it's the dedication of the other players. Maybe people just don't like each other. I can't say that, but like Nate Sudfeld, he's gone, right? All these other quarterbacks that's been on the team, they love CJ Beathard. I like CJ, but the fans didn't like CJ. Why? Because he couldn't throw the ball. He kept getting hit. He couldn't throw the ball, and it was why. Again, it goes back to our offensive line. So then Jimmy comes in, and he's a veteran quarterback, and he kind of gels the whole team together, and we start making a run for it. He just can't stay. He can't stay healthy.
Can I say something real quick?
Go for it.
So the thing with Josh Johnson, man, I think Josh Johnson, unfortunately, of course, like you've said before, we always say, no matter who's at quarterback, we're rooting for them. I was rooting for Josh Johnson, man, but I think he lacks something, and this is mental. He lacks something that is very highly valued in the NFL. What's the one thing that everybody talked about and shocked everybody with Brock Purdy? As a rookie, especially. His ability
to make plays happen and just ad-lib a little bit. He had quick decision making. He was able to read the defenses and go through his progressions.
Poise is the thing that I'm getting to, man. That is the valued attribute that is underlooked by a lot of scouts. It's overlooked by a lot of people. And Josh Johnson just does not seem to have that poise. The moment was too big for him. It doesn't matter how many years he's been in the NFL for a long time, guys. He's been on the 49ers
10 years.
4 times.
Yeah, three or four times. I know for sure.
So he's had the practice.
For him not to be able to come out.
Go ahead.
No, for him not to come out and be able to, like you're saying, he has to have poise. And you're a veteran in the league for 10 years. So after how many weeks have we seen this guy not make it as a backup for our team, right? So you can't tell me that we weren't looking at him and thinking, man, maybe if something happens to Brock, right? So there's Cam Newton, there's Phillip Rivers. I mean, Fitzmagic. I know he had the stomach surgery, or he had the injury. But he still maybe that was an option. So if Josh Johnson, like you're saying, didn't have that poise, they should have seen it. And it kind of goes like, this is something weird. Why did he bring Josh Johnson on? Oh, because he knows his playbook, 2020. He's his guy. He's his system, Kyle's system guy. Okay, why did he bring Tevin Coleman in? Why did he activate him yesterday? Oh, because he came from Atlanta. He's a Kyle guy. How many Kyle guys do we need?
That's why McGlinchey's going to be back next year.
Yeah, he'll be back next year because he knows how to run block. And whoever's our quarterback next year will have to really watch their right side. So it's just one of those things. I got my shirt out today. It says Super Bowl next year on it. It does. It says Super Bowl next year.
Bro, I need one of those. Where do we buy one?
Well, this is like a shirt from the 70s or 80s. It's old school. So I found it in a thrift store, but it does. It says Super Bowl next year on it. And I was like, well, that's perfect for today.
Hey, speaking of, I know, do you guys still have the thing going with Grant, the what do you call it? The
merch?
The merch. The 49ers QC merch.
I believe so.
So you guys go support my boy Brian with the 49ers QC merch. He makes merch for Grant Cohn. And do you guys have anything else in the works when it's just 49ers merch, like just overall in general?
We can design things, we can make things. If there's something special that you want for somebody, you can reach out to me and we can work it out. We can make it happen.
Because that's an idea right there you have on your shirt. Just making t-shirts that say Super Bowl next year. Bro, I would buy that.
Well, as happy and proud that I would be to make it and sell it to people, I would be a little sad to see people wearing it, because it should be this year, right? It should be this year. So
just make it say instead of next year, that way I could wear it all year round. It would be a just put 49ers Super Bowl.
Right?
We'll get it next year. Or we'll get it this year.
I was looking through my closet the other day before the game, and I seen my 2012 championship shirt, and I was like, oh, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to wear that. I don't want to touch that. And then, like I heard you earlier talking about like what was a more painful loss for me. The 2012 Super Bowl was devastating. The 2020, the 2019 Super Bowl, I already felt that defeat, so like my heart's already been broken. I was hoping it would happen, we'd win, but I was like, I started seeing it, and but for the Niners, they were rallying back with Kaepernick, and it was just like, I thought they were going to give the ball to Gore one time, and he'd be able to run it in or something, or Crabtree out of the 4 times, and maybe one time he would have caught it. I thought we still had a shot, and then the Ravens got the ball and run it out with the kicker, did the safety thing. I'm just like, this is not going to happen for us. So then the Jimmy Garoppolo Super Bowl, I was watching it, and I seen the holds, I seen some of the calls not happen, and you can't be a hater and be like, oh, everything's got to be called, because you gotta let people play, you gotta let the game go on. Not everything, every play can have a holding call. Every play, it's just like how anal does your ref want to be? But this game didn't seem like it was fair. Joe Biden's wife was up there, and the next to commissioner. I mean, it's just the whole vibe just started weird. And then, okay, this is something too. And I know, like, I'm just a fan. So whoever blew this, whoever was a scout or coach for the Niners, when the wide receiver ran up and put his fist together, and he did the, like that, and tried to get everybody to huddle up and stuff like that. That was a cue right then. Call timeout or do something. I mean, like, look at Huff. Huff saying, he incomplete. It was an incomplete. So, I mean, sometimes you do have to trust your players. Not everybody. I know players lie sometimes, but when you're on defense and the guy didn't catch the ball, I don't know. It's just like
NFC. It's the NFC Championship. It's better to lose a challenge than to not challenge it at all, I think.
And you know how big I am on special teams. So when it was 7-7 and we're driving the ball down the field, I'm like, damn it, just kick a field goal. Just kick a field goal, because they would have went up 10-14, and then the fumble happened, and then it was like 14, and then they went up. I'm like, there's no way we're going to win this game if that guy can't. He was scared. Josh Johnson was totally terrified out there. So for anybody who's going to say, oh, we don't need this quarterback or that quarterback, hey, I whatever they want to do this offseason, that's fine with me. I think we need an O-line. We need a right guard. We need somebody to rush the passer on the other side with Bosa, because Bosa can't do it all by himself. And we need somebody to help with the coverage, because right now our corners are good, but they're not always good.
That's the thing too, man. I hear, and I'm gonna take my headphones off real quick, but I hear that Trent Williams is considering retirement now. But I got to take the sweater off. I'm burning up, man.
Yeah, I hear you. That would be really horrible, really really horrible if he retires, because our window is only so big, and it's going to be only open for so long. We can't keep going to the championship and just continuing to lose and saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
next year, next year." No, it's this year. And what did the Eagles
Not
do
un-
last year? The
not
Eagles
unless
went
it's
to
on a
the
shirt.
But the Eagles, what did they do? They were the seventh seed last season. They upgraded their unit, and they,
Yeah.
they pushed, and they just won a Super Bowl like 5 years ago. I mean, like, and then look at Kansas City last year. This year, they've been to the Super Bowl the last 3 times out of the last 4 years. We've been to the
Yeah.
championship game 3 times out of the last 4 years. What do we
Yeah.
have to do to beat Kansas City? I mean, do we really need to fire Shanahan and then like go hire the next Andy Reid or something? I mean,
Well,
who's been fired recently, Wolf? That's been on a team for a very long time, like Andy Reid, and I mean, like, I don't know, man, banana
we need
hands.
we need a consistently healthy quarterback is what we need, which is Patrick Mahomes is typically healthy. They always have him. And how much is that is Patrick Mahomes, his mobility, his ability to do off-script stuff and just get out of the way. How much of it is Andy Reid protecting his quarterback? And they have another really good O-line over there as well. So you
And
need to
that's
invest. You need to invest in that.
and that's something too. I mean, like, Andy Reid was the coach over there for like 15 years or something, right? And he
Mm.
went to the championship several years, like 4 years in a row with McNabb. I didn't think McNabb was that bad of a quarterback. He might not have been like
No, he
the
wasn't.
best quarterback, but at the time when he was going to the championship 4 years in a row, I thought he was elite. I thought he was doing okay until he got injured.
He was pretty good.
Then they traded him to. I thought, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Vince Young came in, and then they moved off and went to him, and
Vince Young.
it's just one of those things. It's like you can win. So with Andy Reid, my point being, him 15 years of not being able to make it, does Kyle have to go through 15 years before he's put in his dues before this the league says, okay, we're not going to rig the Super Bowl for you. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
When
how
you
many
find
times
out, let me know, man. When you find out,
right?
let me know for sure.
This is I mean, even the Chiefs game they were saying was rigged last night. I don't want anybody to stop watching football, but if it's truly rigged, they need to do a better job of not showing it.
Oh, not making it so obvious. Because those
I wear
penalties were
glasses, and if I
fucking
can see it,
ridiculous. Like, we lost our quarterback, and you're just kicking a man while he's fucking down, bro. With these penalties, like ridiculous shit. That's crazy to me.
I've seen where the delay of game, dropped to 0, and they still give them like that half a second. But for us, it seemed like once it hit 0, they were throwing the flag. So I don't know. I mean, like, just call them the way you call every game. Call it the same way. If you're gonna let them play, let them play. If you, and
Yeah,
that's why, like, okay, like, I live in Stockton, California, and
such a bitch move, man.
one of the NFL referees used to live here in Stockton. He used to coach, not coach. He used to ref the high school football team, St. Mary's, all their games and stuff like that. But he was an NFL referee. So what? The NFL referees aren't fully paid employees. They're part-time employees. Maybe that's where we need to start. Maybe we need to get these guys. We're like, hey, we're giving you a bunch of ass money. You don't have to worry about like Vegas trying to, hey, officiate this way today. No, we want you to
Yeah,
call a good game. And I don't know. I mean, like, maybe the refs should start getting paid a little bit, maybe more than what. I don't know how much they're getting paid right now. I don't know if anybody in the chat knows how much they're getting paid, but they got to do something different. They definitely
it's a
got.
really
They
good
got to have
amount.
somebody in the box or somebody who can like oversee these calls. And I mean, they changed the overtime rules last year because of this. So, well, if I don't know, man, I feel like we got to. I don't feel like
Yeah,
the hit necessarily was dirty. I just feel like it's just bad timing.
the NFL, the history of the NFL is really important to fans. And when you have bad officiating and you're not paying for it, you're not compensating well for it. You're impacting the history of the game. I keep forgetting not the intellectual, but what's the damn word? integrity of the game. You're impacting the integrity of the game and the integrity of your NFL history, yourself as an organization. So stop
Yep.
hoarding all that shit up there, Roger Goodell.
Well, okay, so then why go back to Roger Goodell? Maybe that's our issue. And if the NFL is listening or Roger Goodell is listening, no offense to you, but maybe this would be good for everybody. Maybe Roger, maybe you should step down. If you love the NFL as much as you love it, maybe you should step down and let somebody else be the commissioner. Because whatever happened with John Gruden and him being the only person out of all those emails to get fired because he called you a name, really, like let's get. I mean, I'm not a big Raider fan. I don't think anyone here is a big Raider fan, but nobody wants to see that happen to anyone's organization. Yeah. And you imagine if it would have been like Kyle Shanahan who would have said something silly, and then they rip him out of our culture in our locker room. No one else gets in trouble. There was thousands of emails, and that's the only Dan Snyder is still the owner of the Redskins, but you kick out somebody who made fun of you.
Dan Snyder's supposed to be out on his way too.
Yeah, and so I don't get it. I mean, like, don't say anything. Wolf, I'm sorry if this gets demonetized or you get taken down by any way. Roger Goodell, he might have too much power. He might not like what I'm saying about him.
I know. I saw him in the comments right now, so be careful.
I really do apologize because I mean, like, if that guy has that much power to pull one guy out because of something he wrote in the email, you don't even know if he wrote the email. Somebody else could have wrote the email. I mean, like, I don't care. I mean, like, I don't think anybody should be racist or, I don't believe in that kind of, talk and if that's really his views and stuff, yeah, Gruden shouldn't be a coach either, but you can't do that to one person, so I think we have a problem on our hands right now. The NFL definitely has a problem. Everybody's saying with the betting rights with Purdy, they didn't want the NFL rookie to make it to the Super Bowl and the Kelsey Bowl's happening. So I don't know, man.
Yeah. It's weird shit. Really weird, man. Every time the 49ers come so close, there's always some weird shit. There's always some weird shit that's at least worth mentioning and questioning, man. If you go back on YouTube, there's a big old conspiracy about the 49ers Chiefs. Like, I saw it when I was watching the game, but there's actual video that goes into it in full depth on the whole thing, man. So you guys go check it out. But
yeah, and there's one thing too for the Seahawks, the NFC Championship game too. They keep taking it down, but it keeps going back up. So every once in a while, if you look for it, you might not find it, but it keeps getting popped back up. It's called NFL.
Why do they keep taking it back down?
Because of the title. It's the NFC Championship 2014 game rigged. It says rigged in the statement, and if you watch it,
why
it's
does
the Seahawks.
Keep getting, look at how many conspiracy theories are on YouTube. That's like. Yeah. Probably the main industry on YouTube is conspiracy theories, and the NFL ones are getting taken down. Why? Because it's a business.
It's a business, and it's true. Yeah, and what they're showing is true. If you watch that 2014 video I'm talking about, it's like 48 minutes or something like that, and they cut everything up. There was a delay of game from Russell Wilson. There's only a 40-second play clock. He got over 60 seconds. There was so many times. What's his name? Had the sack in the back at the beginning of the game. There's Alden Smith. Thank you. There was so many different plays. So if anybody's seen it or if they haven't seen it, please go and check it out. If you're a 49er fan, it'll probably make you mad.
Play. Very first play of the game. That was badass, man.
Yep. And so definitely
strip sack. Yeah, man. You guys go check that out. I forgot I was going to say something.
You're talking about the Chiefs game.
That's part of the NFL being a business. Is we've talked about it before. All the complete rotation in the NFL, you never have the same team for multiple years. It's all because they want every team to be competitive so they can sell to every single fan base so they get more money from more outlets, right? That's what it is, guys. That's why you don't have the same teams in the Super Bowl every year. We don't get to bring these players back. It's fucking ridiculous. You see it with the 49ers. Every year they're getting poached by everybody and their fucking mothers, man. It's pisses me off. But Israel Mikey says, we just go through should've, coulda, wouldas every season, even in the hardball days. But I love my Niners. No matter what, we had a great season. 100%, man. Live to fight another day. John Cerna says, how much longer are you planning on being live? Depends on how much longer you'll be on. I have till 2 hours, but yeah, if you want me to wait for you, I will. But I can't go past 2 hours. So let me know if you want me to wait for you. If not, I'll probably just tap out at some point in time whenever we feel it's the time has come. Let me see.
Yeah, I just
Rob
jumped
DR.
in whenever you need. I just jumped in whenever you need me to drop out. Just let me know. I figured I'd call and talk to you because I know we're all a little upset about it.
You're good. I'm just gonna check some of the comments real quick, and then I still want to get some of your thoughts. Rob DR says, "Didn't you see all the Philly fans? They are the dregs of humanity. Philly's main export is heroin laced horse tranquilizer. I expect nothing less from them." Oh no, you said it, not me, man. I don't know enough
But
about that
you read
stuff.
it. You read it.
Yeah, man. There was an Eagles fan that commented some dumb shit, so I didn't even bother giving it any time of day, man, because that shit is super weird to me. Like, okay, you won by default and you want to come into 49er streams and talk shit. Like, I don't know about you, Brian. I'm pretty sure you don't do it. I don't do it. I like it strikes me as fucking weird. Like those are the type of people that should get their ass beat. Like just weird trolls go to other streams just to talk shit and kick somebody when they're down. Like we're here talking about the video is about our quarterback who's just confirmed through an MRI that he has a torn UCL ligament in his elbow and couldn't play in the NFC Championship because of it. You win by default. Now you want to come talk shit? Like that shit is super weird to me, man. Like I'm serious. Those are the type of people in real life where I beat their ass. I don't play around when it comes to that shit, man. I was waiting for an Eagles fan to say
Yeah.
something to me, man. And it was funny because
Well, see,
actually in the bar there was an Eagles fan and he was being super obnoxious during the game. He's like, "Woo!" Like but like he did it like 20 times like in like 1 minute for like no reason. And there was a Bengals fan that had gotten there. And I don't know what the Eagles fan was saying to the Bengals fan, but he kept talking shit. And the Bengals fan goes up to him with the pool stick and he's like, "What's up, motherfucker? Say one more fucking thing. I may be small." And he was going off on him, dude. And there was like 3 or 4 Eagles fans sitting at that table. And it was just the one Bengals guy. I was like, "That's what's up, man." And I felt like backing him up, but it was none of my
yeah,
business. It was funny, though, man. He ended
yeah,
up getting all those Eagles fans kicked out. The Bengals fan did. And I went up to him later. I said, "Hey,
yeah.
man, you guys better fucking win it all, or I'm gonna find you after this." Man, yeah, we
Man,
laughed,
no, you
man.
can't. Like, if we would have lost by like a field goal, if we would have lost by a field goal, that's something you can come in and talk crap about. But when you've hurt every one of our quarterbacks, not like, okay, like, yeah, the object of the game is to win by any means, right? And as a fan, you don't want to see injuries, but when it's an injury on the other team, you're like, okay, yeah, and you get like, we got a shot, we're dominating, you get a little bit maybe more hype. And maybe that's a little evil
Mhm.
for everybody, but everybody does that a little bit. You see the quarterback go out, you're like, yeah, kill, right? It's like, it's time to, like, now we're really going to win, right? So I get that. But then after the game's over and stuff like that, and you get to sit down, you get to realize it. They didn't beat us like they think they did. They kept
No.
running the score up on us a little bit because of those calls. But if our quarterback would have been in the game the whole time, we would have scored more than 7. We would have
Yeah,
definitely scored more
see,
than 7.
if they win, man, and they're the better team, we had our quarterback and they just beat us, that's one thing, like you're saying. And you give them kudos, but you guys didn't do anything. You won by default. That's
No.
it. You don't get no props for that. Nobody in the NFL is giving you props for that. No fans,
Mm-mm.
no nothing.
Did you see
They just
Hertz got hit? Did you see him get hit and he stopped throwing the ball after that? The score was already too big for us to come back, but he got
yeah,
hurt
I told
and
them. I told
yep,
them, shouldn't have been talking shit. You
nope.
shouldn't have been talking
And
shit.
they hit
Yeah.
him in that shoulder and he stopped throwing after that. So
Yeah, the
I don't
zone
know. I
read.
mean, like,
He I saw him grimace after the zone read. And I
hmm
told him, "Hey, man,
I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't just let CMC just play quarterback. I really like when I see him
that's
changing
what
his helmet and stuff like that. I was like, all right, we're gonna get somebody who's gonna be able to try it. I was at the point I was like, Debo can throw, CMC can throw, Kyle Juszczyk can throw. Let somebody throw, and then you're gonna put Purdy back out there, and they already knew he couldn't throw the ball. That was, I love the fact that the Niners kept playing and kept fighting and stuff like that, but that was dumb. That was like they still had a chance. They still had a chance. Josh Johnson got CMC the ball. He scored that touchdown. They still had a chance. Then went this fumble. That's when he should have came out of the game. He should have came out of the game, and they should have put somebody else in there. Steve Young was warming up in the parking lot. I mean, like, come on.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know if you watched the post game show. That's all I was saying, man. I don't understand why they didn't play 11 on an 11 football. In the words of The Longest Yard, that movie, they said, "Let's go do some schoolyard bullshit." Play 11 on 11. Why the fuck are you taking up space having Brock Purdy hand off the ball playing 10 on 11 football against a good defense? I don't get it. I don't care if you're not throwing the ball. At least play 11 on 11 and just run it with different guys every time, something you were supposed to do even with the quarterback being in there. And I thought they started the game passing too much. Should have been running the ball a lot more in the beginning of the game.
It's I don't know, man. I know the Eagles got off on us really fast. They got that hit, and that just changed the whole game. I don't think the deferring, like we didn't get the ball at the beginning we won the toss. I thought that was great. I was like, cool, we're getting the ball at the second half. Let's go stop them on defense.
Yeah.
If that call would have happened, they would have punted. They wouldn't have went for it. Or was it fourth down that they went for it? I can't remember. But if they wouldn't have,
it was fourth and three. Fourth and three. Yeah. Devontae Smith gets the alleged catch. That wasn't a catch. But either way, man, the fact that he was open, like that open, and he's still, it was a catch until Jimmy Ward made sure it wasn't a catch. Only because he tipped the ball when Devontae Smith brought it in, did it start coming loose a little bit. So they kind of slipped up a little bit there in coverage too.
And who was it? Was it Greenlaw? Who was punching the ball? Punching the ball when it was in the running backs. I mean, the first time I seen it, I was like, okay, but then he kept doing it, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, man, fuck it. No, at that point, we had no hope. Like the defense was doing everything and anything they could. Like I totally get it, man. The frustration, you saw it. Trent Williams slams that guy on the ground because there's no hope. So you're going to take
Trent Williams thing.
I get it, man.
The Trent Williams thing, I can justify that by saying, hey, everybody was being told to back off. That guy probably was over there saying something. Trent Williams just snatched him up real quick and threw him on the ground. But for him to continue to punch the ball like 2 or 3 times is fine.
The running back was still up. He was still up on his feet.
They blew the whistle. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how loud it was, if he could hear it or not. But at a certain point, you got to stop, and that's why they threw because they said they threw the flag after the whistle, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm emotional too, and I'm just like, that's just another dumb play for us, man. Dumb penalty,
That's what I'm saying. So, football players are crazy. That's why I'm crazy, bro. Like, I totally get the mentality. I would do the same shit. I would be frustrated the same way, and people would tell me, they would probably say I'm immature because of it. I don't care though. It's just that's part of the game. It's an aggressive sport, and that's how you feel in those moments, man. Trying to make anything and everything happen when you feel so hopeless. So I totally get it. David McNiner says, I need unrefutable proof that we went after Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. All I saw were reporters making stories by speculation. We talked to the Lions about Stafford.
Kyle actually did come out and say that he called LaFleur on Thursday night or the night before the draft.
Yeah.
Kyle has admitted it, so it's out there. And the whole Brady thing, that just keeps going back and forth. So
yeah.
You know what? If he did come to the Niners, he'd sell a bunch ass jerseys. You know that?
Yeah, he would. Hell yeah, he would. But I mean, the thing is, you don't need unrefutable proof because he never ended up coming to the Niners anyways. None of them did. So that would have been your unrefutable proof. So if it happens this season, they're not going to reject that offer unless the 49ers just say that it's too expensive. So then there's the unrefutable proof is if they're on the team, there's your proof, I think. Rob Diart says NFL not rigged, gently facilitated to sell the most profitable narrative. Maybe that's the definition of rigged. That's the what is it? Webster's Dictionary of rigged. Slightly adjusted
I don't.
to fit the profitable narrative. Oh my god.
It's just one of
Go
those
ahead,
things.
Bryant.
I mean, like I'm sure, like if the Eagles would have lost, they would be saying, we rigged it, or somehow the NFL's rigged. Every team does it. But for our situation, our scenario, our case, we could prove this stuff. I mean, we can stop the tape. We can say, look, right there, Bosa's getting heralded in the Super Bowl. I mean, but for whatever reason, that's in the past. We can't live on that. So I just hope
Yeah.
everything, hope they can address the weaknesses on our team this offseason. I hope they can get somebody who's a veteran for a backup quarterback that can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Again, they could have went after Cam Newton. They could have got Philip Rivers. I mean, there was so many people that they could have. Let's get Josh Johnson. He knows our system. I mean, Wolf, I'm pretty sure if you or me sat there and played an NFL Madden game for enough hours with Kyle Shanahan's playbook, we could learn his system. I mean,
Oh yeah. I already
know
do it.
I mean, they
I'm
said Matt
telling
Ryan
you.
needed two. They said Matt Ryan needed 2 years to learn it or whatever. But I'm sure if they put it on a video game and let somebody, how long would it take Kyler Murray to learn it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's all.
So
Next time the 49ers have a pro day, I'm gonna go and tell them, hey, Kyle Shanahan, whatever you need, man. You need a quarterback, you need another Debo Samuel. I'm your guy, man. I could throw the ball like 70 yards. And I'm not gonna cost much. I only play for the 49ers, so here's my number. we have another situation like that. I don't need to know the plays, but I'll have them handy if you want me to learn it.
Go out there with some sunglasses on and look at Kyle Shanahan and say, I need Kittle out there about 70 yards, and I'm going to throw it like Dr. Disrespect.
How much you want to bet I could throw a pigskin over them mountains?
Okay, Uncle Rico.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, man. Steve-O Supremo, hey, sorry I haven't been getting to your comments. I've seen you in here. We're just, I always fall behind on this stuff, Steve-O, but now we are traveling to Germany and overseas. Yeah, man, I'm curious to see, because, I like the schedule we're getting. I mean, not the schedule, but the lineup of teams that we're playing, because all the times and places, all that has yet to be announced, but the teams are announced already. I think we're playing some really good teams. We're playing the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Vikings. Like, we're playing some good teams next year, and I like that, man, because I want the 49ers to be ready. I don't want, especially I don't want any questions about, the validity of your guys' schedule and this and that. We'll see what the Bucks got going on next year, but we're playing the Bengals as well. I thought that was the Chargers. It's the Rams. But it looks like right now
they got the same emblem. The Rams and the Chargers have the same emblem, and they have the same colors. It just don't make no sense. It really don't make no sense. Both
They're
computer teams.
It's like some straight butt buddy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Israel Mikey says, let's talk about how Eagles had more penalty yards than offensive yards. Oh, he's talking to smack over there in the chat. That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Put it down for the Niner gang. Rob Diart says NFL not. Oh, I already read that one. Okay, give me a second, guys. See if I can find any more comments with the fire emojis. 4 fire emojis if you guys want me to read your comment or question. until monetization, then you guys have to pay for me to read it. Yeah. No, just kidding. Yeah. No, just kidding. Rob Diart says, combine a quarterbacks fan and a Seahawks fan and a bottle of douche equals typical Philly fan, all sports. Yeah, man, I've heard. I haven't had a whole lot of interactions with Eagles fans, but I've heard over there in Philly when other fans, opposing fans go to those games that Philly fans are like the worst. That's just what I've heard. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't say it. Don't shoot the messenger, guys.
No, I've heard it too. I've heard Eagles fans are bad, Bears fans are bad. the Raider fans are bad. I don't know if there's other places that are bad, but those are the three places that I know. Oh, and Seattle. Seattle's bad too. Yeah. You just don't throw Skittles on our players. You know, when our Navarro Bowman was hurt and stuff, you don't throw Skittles on them. That's not right.
Yeah, man. Straight up.
You don't throw
Straight
stuff
disrespectful.
on players when somebody's hurt. You know, that's
Yeah.
not right.
Yep.
So
It's one thing having to deal with that injury and it's like season ending and you know, just that state of mind that they're already in, and then you're gonna go and throw shit at them. That shit's crazy to me, man. Michael Gross says my wife had the same injury Purdy had in 2014, had surgery, and it still bothers her today. Yeah, man. I don't know.
Sorry again, but it's like I don't think this is good for Purdy. You know, first he didn't have the strongest arm, and now he's injured. He is young. Young people recover a little bit faster, but I don't really see him coming back from this, man. I hope so. I hope he can come back. I don't want to
Yeah.
sound like a hater or super negative, but
If he doesn't play,
what exactly is he having? Is this like Tommy John surgery?
yeah. If
Yeah.
well, he's getting a second opinion on it. So right now could be 6 months to a year. He's getting a second opinion on it just to make sure and you know, deliberate with his team, figure out what they want to do, but looking to get surgery right now, could be out 6 months to a year. I would just, you know, if it's going to be a year, just take the whole year. Don't play till next year.
Yeah.
Not, you know, next year.
Yeah.
Damn, man. And I hope he's good once he comes back. That way he could be 100%.
What's your thoughts, real quick? I know you're still going through the chat, but what's your thoughts, real quick, on seeing Mr. Jimmy G smiling next to Trey Lance? I was trying to look to see if Trey Lance was smiling too or shaking hands with him or something, because the way he had his hands held, he was standing there talking to him. So I guess Trey was holding his hands, and he must have said something funny to Jimmy, because Jimmy was just laughing. Like he looked like, to me, I thought he looked like the devil or something, standing on the sidelines like that. He had his beard and just the way. And I like Jimmy G, but that really made my stomach turn upside down yesterday when I seen both of them standing there. And I don't care if the camera just caught Jimmy smiling. I don't care if Trey wasn't smiling. That's some shit that shouldn't have been happening on the sidelines. I mean,
yeah, not in a situation like this.
No.
Yeah, there's actually there's a screenshot of it, and I'm gonna post it up on my page on the YouTube channel to the community tab, guys. And it's a meme. It says, when it's your last day at work and the company is falling apart, and it's a picture of Jimmy Garoppolo smiling on the sideline. It says, when it's your last day at work and the company is falling apart. I thought it was funny, man, but I mean, it really pissed me off. But you know, in context, you don't know what was being said.
Yes, so that's why I'm like trying to say, like, I don't know exactly what, you know, what's happening or the conversation. So I put it on Jimmy and Trey, because neither one of them should have been like, I mean, they should have had their hoods over their face or something like that at that point. When I seen the plane and the players getting off the plane and walking into, you know, the hotel or whatever the other day, and really quickly you see Jimmy kind of walking behind everybody, I was like, oh shit, Jimmy's there. And I was like, cool, Jimmy's there. I didn't think he was going to play, because I was, you know, hearing that they were talking he would still not be ready maybe until possibly the Super Bowl if they got there. But I'm like, cool, he's going to support the team, right? Mm-hmm. Damn it, man, you don't get caught doing that kind of shit. That picture probably cost him his next NFL job. I mean, who at this point would want to sign him?
I mean, nobody wanted to sign. Yeah, nobody wanted to sign him last year. He was having a better season this year, so that's what I'm saying. I don't know the context of what was being said and all that, but I think he was ready to play, man, and he just chose not to. He made a business decision. So I think if nobody else, I don't think the Niners are going to want him either.
No, I mean, if they bring him back, if they bring him back next year, it just goes on to what I've been saying for as long as I've known you. The Yorks love Jimmy. That's it. The Yorks love Jimmy, you know, and that's the only reason he could still. That's the only reason he could still be here. It doesn't seem like Kyle loves him. It doesn't seem like John Lynch really loves him. It's the Yorks. The Yorks are the one who signs the checks, and they're the ones who make really the final decision. They're just not as crazy as Jerry is. Jerry, the Cowboy owner.
Jerry.
I mean,
I'm
at
gonna
least
get to some of the comments. I'm gonna get to some of the comments real quick. We got less than 5 minutes. I want to get your outlook on the rest of the off season. I know we're probably going to be talking, but I usually, me and you don't get to collab too much just because of time constraints. So,
yeah, we'll
want to
make
get
something
your
happen here
outlook.
soon. We'll
Big
get
Mac,
something settled.
yeah, Big Mac Sports says, "What's good, Wolf? It's time for little Mike and Kinlaw to go. It's time to cut ties with them and Jimmy." Yeah, I think so, man. Kinlaw would have to take a really, really huge pay cut on a prove it deal, man. Maybe even with incentives, but he's gonna have to be really cheap because there's way too much room for liability there when it comes to his knee. Way too much space there. And then even when his knee is good, he's not the biggest game changer on the field.
Real quick before you move to your next topic, you remember the quarterback sneaks that they were doing and how low they were getting down, how low they were getting their
Yep.
pads down.
Yep.
That's not going to happen with Armstead, and that's not going to happen with Kinlaw. So if Mook Dog has to go somewhere, shout out to you, Mook Dog, Kinlaw. I hope your career's better somewhere else, but I don't think the Niners need him anymore. Yeah. I think we need to move on. Even if he takes a cheap deal. He's a big guy. He's really, really huge. I hate to see him in, an alley, a dark alley, but no, hey, I respect him a lot, but I think the Niners need to
go for the body.
Right?
Go for the body. That's what I do, man. Rob DeArt says nobody threw anything at Trent Williams when he was walking through the tunnel. They better don't. He'll flip him off too or point at him and laugh. Steve-O Supremo says you proved you a conehead. I don't know if he's talking to me.
Well, so, I am a conehead. So Steve-O Supremo, I see you everywhere. I've tried to message you in chats and stuff, and I don't see you responding back to me. So shout out to you. I am a conehead. I like Grant Cohn a whole lot, and I do believe a lot of things that he says. It might not be necessarily like the nicest thing to say about 49ers, but he's honestly giving you his opinion, and he gets closer to most other reporters to the team. So if you want to hear about 49er news, listen to Grant Cohn. You usually get the fastest and quickest updates. So, yep.
No, well, that's what shout out to the Coneheads, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if that's supposed to be an insult.
I don't take
not.
Offense.
I'm a Conehead. I literally support his membership. Like, I support everything about Grant. He's really the one that inspired me to start my own channel. But he's just one of many whose perspectives I take, and it just helps me grow as my perspective on the 49ers and football. I feel like you got to listen to everybody's perspective, and it's the definition of ignorant to not hear everybody out.
Yep. So, and
sorry.
That's how I found you. I found you through Grant, so yep. I mean, there it is.
Exactly.
You guys like the content. Again, shout out Coneheads.
And no racist reference there to the Coneheads.
No.
It's that he puts on that stupid cone from the old movies, but the Conehead movie. David McNiner says link please, but hey David, we're closing out the show already, bro. We have less than a minute left. Man,
we're gonna have to do a show. We're gonna have to do a show where it's like me, you, and him, like once a week or something, a Saturday or Sunday or even a week, but it's got to be like the same day or same time,
If you want to get David on tonight or tomorrow, you guys let me know. I mean, you have my Twitter. I got David's DMs, his email, whatever. So if you and David want to do a show later tonight, that's cool. If not, tomorrow or whatever, man, let me know.
Sounds
David,
good.
let me know. Let me know, David. Email me or something if you want to do one later tonight or something. But Brian, I appreciate you, man. We got less than a minute.
All right, man. Hey, everybody, like and subscribe. Guys. If you don't, that's okay. If you do, cool. If you subscribe and you want to help out more, grab your mom's phone, your brother's phone, your cousin's phone, tell your uncle, tell everybody. All right, like and subscribe. He's at 420 now. Let's get him up to 5. So shout out Niner Gang and everybody else. Wolf, I'll talk to you a little bit later. Everybody stay faithful. And remember, Super Bowl next year.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Good night, man. Appreciate you guys. Please like and subscribe. Really appreciate Brian coming on. Steve O Supremo says maybe I'll grow balls and call in sometime. That'd be cool, man. That'd be cool. No pressure, no pressure. But you guys have a great night, man. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Go Niners.